Have you ever felt called by God to do something that nobody's ever really done before? Or perhaps you're not sure you've heard him because it just seems so outrageous and you've not ever heard of anybody doing it. I just want to really just encourage you and share some stories today about people who've done just that. So I guess if we start with the Bible, there's people like Moses, who stood before a huge body of water with thousands of people behind him desperate to cross, and if God hadn't come through, he'd have never made it. If you think of the armies as they're marching around Jericho again and again, you can almost hear the whispers, nobody's ever done this before, what is going on? Even when you think of the stories of someone like Ruth, who everybody would have been saying, stay where you are, don't go with Naomi, you don't know what you'll meet there. But she went, and if she'd never gone, she'd have never met her Boaz. Equally, the woman who broke that alabaster jar worth a year's wages on Jesus' feet, everybody was outraged except one person, Jesus, who thought it was the most beautiful thing, and so much so that it be recorded in the Gospels for us as an encouragement for us to be extravagant with maybe doing some crazy things that nobody's ever done before. More recently, I'm here in Cambridge, and William Wilberforce actually went to college here, and Charles Haddon Spurgeon started preaching here, so it's a place of history. Now, everybody must have told Wilberforce, you'd be absolutely bonkers to try and abolish slavery. It's, people have tried, it's not going to work, but God put something in his heart, I believe, and gave him the passion to carry it out to completion, and that was a life's work that he received a calling for. More recently, someone like Jackie Pullinger, who, a nobody, I guess, in the world's eyes, but was called of God, and she took a one-way ticket, and God told her to get off in Hong Kong, and she transformed the lives of hundreds of people in that place, and actually the culture of the location in which she was based. Even the story of Gladys Aylward, she really was a nobody. She had no reason to think God might call her to do an amazing work, rescuing kids, making home, preaching the gospel to leaders in the country where she ended up. And that just, these are ordinary people like you and I. Even today, I think of modern day people who are stepping out, doing courageous things, and whom I find really inspiring. Hannah Peck, who set up Baby Basics to meet the basic needs of mums who didn't even have the basics for their newborn, to really bless them that first 3 months with a basket full of clothing. I think of Jane Smith, who set up Clean Sheet, an opportunity to connect prisoners with employers who would offer them work and give them that new start they so desperately need. Jackie Pullinger said, if he's made you to do something, you just do it. Sounds really simple, doesn't it? And I really just want to tell you even a small story, because these guys are doing these massive life-changing things, but we can change a life. God wants to use us to change lives in small ways too. Yesterday I was hearing a story of a lady. She had a note in her pocket, and she was at a meeting, and she felt God say to give it to this other person. What she didn't know is that other person was standing there saying, Lord, I need a financial breakthrough in my life. And as this woman gave her this note, she knew it was just a token. It wasn't the breakthrough. It was just a token of God saying, yes, I hear you. I'm on it. I'm coming. And that was such a simple thing. So whether it's giving someone a note, taking someone flowers, making a phone call, having a conversation, never ever underestimate the power of what God can do through you. He's on the same mission today he's always been. He's empowering you, and with his help you can make a massive difference in those around you, and never ever let the enemy tell you otherwise. So go, take some courage, take a step. Next time you hear that voice, small voice speaking, go for it. You'll be astonished at what God does. And you know what? If nothing happens, you trust him, because he's loving your faith. He's loving that, saying, whoa, look, they stepped out when they weren't even sure it was my voice. And he loves it. And he's just going to be wanting to speak to you more and more. So step out, take steps of courage, and be one of those people that changes the community around you. Have a fabulous day.